Hey everyone, so I'm going to try to figure out a way to splice this in front of the video I just posted. It was the first one where I used this backdrop and this window. I mean, look at that gorgeous view. But anytime I get in front of the video, it completely whites out behind me. And I'm not sure because I'm not technically savvy as to why that is, but I'm going to research and I'm going to fix it because this is so much of a better view than the backdrop I was borrowing at my brother's. So as long as I can keep using his space to record these, like I'm going to figure out a way to make this my backdrop. So anyway, I had to include that because it was really distracting while I was recording the video to see it go from this picturesque to the white screen. So I just wanted to give you a heads up, but we will get that corrected shortly. And thank you for bearing with us while I figure this out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video. I wanted to comment by the fact that you don't see my normal backdrop. I went to record and I saw the gorgeousness of kind of the landscape that we have outside the window. And so I thought, why not take advantage of it? It's a beautiful day before the fall quickly turns into winter and the outside does not look as lush as it does right now. I thought, well, take advantage of it. And then as I started setting up to record and kind of doing my intro and everything just turned white. I'm not quite sure why, but I apologize. But I'm going to just roll with it because if there's anything I've learned at this point in my life is you just got to go with it. You just have to go with it. So I know in my last video, I discussed about how I was battling, what content to share and how to share it and what would be the best method of delivery. And after I made that video, I really thought about it later that night and I was feeling like just break it down. Like everybody who does videos, it's all different lengths. It doesn't have to be a set amount of time. So why not just take the questions or comments that I've gotten and just roll with the videos off of that? So that was my plan. I woke up the next day all ready to go get, the videos accomplished and just get rolling. I was really feeling that vibe. And I found out that my mom is going to be dealing with a medical issue. And since October is up and coming, I mean, what other world would things be that we find out that she has breast cancer? And it is in the early stages, which is wonderful. But overall, as someone who is so in advocate mode all the time, I hear the news and immediately, I'm not only doing researching, but I'm also calling different doctors from different hospitals and setting up appointments and just going in that mode that I know what to do, right? And I look over and I see that my mom is struggling. And it really made me connect with the feeling that I have been dealing with this for so long in so many ways that to a certain degree, I emotionally separate when medical things come up. And I just go into what do I need to do? How do I need to solve it? That whole thing. And I'm not trying to say in any way, shape, or form that my mom getting this diagnosis 2 weeks ago was because of this reason. Okay. But I have come to realize in my wisdom that a lot of times when you are working on something and you're, accomplishing it and things are happening and it's, you're kind of feeling that, man, this is my purpose and let's do this and everything. And something comes out like a curveball. You don't usually see it in that exact moment, but at some point you'll see that there was a purpose for it. And that's my belief. I'm not saying that everybody has to agree with that, but in realizing in that moment how upset my mom was, how confused she was, because up until this point, like, God bless, I mean, the woman has been very healthy, for her age. And so since I'm used to, get medical information and like just go, right? I guess I disconnected. And so what's been really amazing over the last 2 weeks is not only getting back in touch with realizing what it's like to be hit with a new medical diagnosis out of nowhere without much background and making appointments and, getting the procedures scheduled and, knowing how to map all that while trying to deal with the fallout of all those appointments now take away. Now you're not doing, for her volunteer roles that she's been doing since she's been retired, and that's a part of her day to day. And now that schedule's getting messed up, and now there's a big question mark on what the schedule is going to be like in the next 2 weeks. And so being able to help her navigate it, plus gaining some, I feel like humble, but getting back to kind of knowing more basics, I feel like really helps with me working on these videos, because not only do I have some amazing recent things that I can share, because she turned to me, a couple points and, oh, this would be a good video. Like, you should do one on this. Or like, can you believe that happened? Oh, do a video on this. Like, use me as an example. Like, she was, getting excited about it, which made me excited about it. Um, but I share all that because that's what a few of the videos are going to be about. Again, it just correlates with October is next week. I can't believe it. But I am going to be sharing a lot more videos about that, and then also kind of starting off from basics a little bit, as far as making those appointments and what that looks like and how to coordinate, even just getting medical records from one hospital to another. Like, they're so different. And it's unfortunate because you would hope that if you need to get your medical records from hospital A and get them to hospital B, like, there should be maybe a universal form, or there should be a universal department name. And that's not the case. And we're talking about hospitals within the Chicago land area. So one would think, it's not like when I lived in Southern Illinois and there was only one hospital in a 35-mile radius. Like, we passed multiple hospitals going to the ones that, she's decided that she wanted to proceed forward with. So I share that just as part as my platform is not just about the medical facts and the medical advocacy. I realize that this platform is for me to share my experiences to help other people. And that's what I realize content creation is about. And that's the reason why I'm choosing to do this as my hobby, because I love it so much. And it's the way that I find purpose with all the weird medical situations I've been with myself, other people. I mean, just throughout the years. I mean, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing in the way that it has changed, the trajectory of what I thought my life was going to be like, to learning how I'm going to live with a diagnosis. I'm not going to let the diagnosis be my life or take over my life in a way that I don't get to experience things that bring me joy. And so, in doing that and forming this platform, that's where I feel like I've been blessed, because I'm here to tell my story. I was told a certain amount of time I had left. And I made a lot of decisions based on that, because at the time, that's all that I knew. No one was a reference point, for myself. And it was only as that time went on and things got better that I realized, numbers are just numbers. Like, and again, doctors are just practicing medicine. So even when you go into a medical office and they give you like, oh, well, this is your longevity. it- no, no. Like, I mean, it can be, and that's unfortunate in certain circumstances, but that's not something that looking back, I should have been like, okay, well, now, I'm only going to be living this amount of time. So it only matters that I do this kind of thing, because it's a total frame of mind to kind of get over, to be like, no, you know what? I'm a woman, I'm working, I have family, I have friends, oh, I have Wagner's, oh, now, I have these other things that are coming up medically, but oh, I still like to visit with my nieces, and oh, I like to go on trips. And, instead of it just being like, oh, I have Wagner's, I'm, going to pass in this amount of time, and this is all I can do, and, this disease is, taking, oh, like, no wonder I was horribly depressed. I mean, how else would one feel when someone gives you a diagnosis, especially when they attach a time frame on it, So, absolutely, horrible, worst places of my life. And it was so dark. And I would never want anyone, even somebody who I would think is an enemy of any reason, of any whatever, like, I wouldn't want anyone on this world feeling that way for that reason. And so that's where being able to share these videos and being able to work on them and seeing that, there's views on there, it lets me know that someone could take something from this and you could make a difference. And I think that at a time that we live in, especially now, for anyone who watches any kind of news at all from any source, we not only have to find the positive in things, but we have to be the change truly that we want. And so that's where I feel that, just like one volunteers to, help out at a hospital or help out at a daycare, or, different things like that. Like, I really feel that sharing some of these experiences is going to help somebody. And that's what really fuels all of this. So, as a recap, definitely going to be dropping some videos having to do with my mom's diagnosis in the last 2 weeks. And then I'm going to be doing videos kind of as we can record them and get them done. And, as I talked about in the first video that I ever did of my issue with perfectionism, I mean, even right now, as I'm recording, the fact that the light and the trees keep coming in and out of focus, I'm trying not to let it distract me. But it's also helping me realize that instead of me worrying about the perfect circumstances, I brought my hair straightener. I was going to straighten my hair. I was going to try to figure out how to adjust everything to get it so you could really see the gorgeous trees that are behind me. Um, you just got to go with it. Just got to record it in the moment and just have to not care about, does it look perfect? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, I don't know what's happening with my hair, but a lot of times I don't, because I have curly and wavy hair and I hate it. I have hated it all of my life. I used to get it thinned out when I was, much younger. And then even when I went through chemo and, I lost a lot of hair, and then it's like you're appreciative for what you got, right? But it's true. Like, I've always wanted straight hair. And I know that people, even my mom who has super straight hair, will constantly tell me how much they love my curls and everything like that. It drives me nuts. But I decided, you know what? I'm not going to care. I can't always look as together as I would want to be, to think that that has any bearing on the content that I want to share with you. So I hope that that help explains a little bit of what's going on in the process, because again, I'm including you guys because I want this to be something that if you guys have questions and comments, that we share and just build, because I think as all these little communities and support groups build, you really could see how you could help each other and you can make some really great impact. So thanks for joining me in this video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.